Hey, what's going on? It's Audi Q7 11. Now, look outside. I don't know if you can see it. Well, my wiper's on. I told you how to fix the wiper, right? Don't worry about it. There's another video about fixing the wiper. But in the Q7, I got all my stuff on. I burnt out my ABS. Right now, my fan for my EGR valves, the exhaust gas air pump, I think that's not working. So that's giving me two codes right here. I have a leak in my air ride system. But I got these 6mm couplings here. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. These are my window washer covers, but I'm gonna have to paint them. If you go to Audi, they can tell you what your color code is. So I got these 6mm. These look a little too big though, but I'm not sure. I hope they're the right one. 6mm couplings came from China, paid like $2. It took a whole month to get here. So I should be able to fix this leak that's causing the pump to run. The pump is running when you see that. Or, the valve is releasing or the pump is pumping. Anyhow, but that's not what I came to talk about. I'm talking about it's raining outside, it's wet. So, I really appreciate how they designed the vehicle. It's a great design. And the car is, I would say it's a relatively reliable vehicle, but for an average person that doesn't want to tinker, I wouldn't get an old one of these. But if you like to tinker and you like to work on stuff, listen, there's really no problem that you can't solve. The transmission is strong. I just realized when I took off the front bumper, that I could do like the guys did back in the early 2000s. What I used to do is take off the front bumper and pull the engine out through the front. You can just jack it up and roll it out. You know what I mean? Well, it's not that simple, because getting back to those bolts, you probably got to disconnect the not the transmission, but you got to disconnect the wheels, the engine mounts. Well, I saw the engine mounts when I did the starter. I saw where the engine mounts are and the transmission mounts are when I worked on the starter. I saw where the couplings are when I tried to patch the exhaust. So you would probably take out the whole engine and the transmission together. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. But that's a job that I don't ever want to do in my life. I'm seeing a lot of Q7s that have the timing chains that blow about 190,000 miles. And right now I'm only 4,000 miles from that. So I try to accelerate very slowly. But anyhow, I talk too much because, I have a podcast. So, separate from this, where I talk a lot. So I'm just talking too much. But under here, on the passenger side, under the hood, right where we're looking right now, under the hood, you know what's under there? The ECU. Okay, so why would they put the ECU there? Now, I think they put the ECU there, I'm just guessing, because in the event of a flood or you go inside water, your ECU doesn't get fried. Now, you got some cars like Honda, Nissan, whatever, they have the ECU way down under your floorboard, and as soon as you go into some water, your car's ruined. I used to have a Volvo, and the Volvo put the TCU and the ECU right on the same level as the intake, which is just about good enough, but they put it in an area where the water doesn't collect. But Audi, unfortunately, put the ECU right under where the water comes down off of the windscreen. So, one day I let my mother hold my car because her car wasn't driving. And what she did was she used her a garden hose with a high pressure garden hose, and she sprayed the windscreen to say she's washing the car off. After that, the car wouldn't start. So I didn't know what the problem was. Whatever, the car dried out. Excuse me. Then it was able to drive. But it would start and it would shut off. And I thought it was the radiator fluid. I thought it was the oil. I was pouring oil in there. I was pouring radiator fluid in there. I was like, what's going on, man? What's really going on with this car? I don't see, it's not working right. Anyhow, but I've noticed online a lot of guys' ECU is getting fried. One guy explicitly mentioned he hit his car. He was washing his car with a pressure washer, and then the car wouldn't work. So if you go on my Instagram, maybe I can put a picture at the thing on the thumbnail. If you go on my Instagram, you see a picture of my ECU open with a can of MAF cleaner, mass airflow cleaner, which is an electronics cleaner. It contains, I don't know, some kind of aerosol, some kind of jet fuel or something like that, some kind of alcohol. I think it's hexane. I'm not sure. It contains some kind of alcohol that really evaporates, but it'll spray down the car, get all the stuff off, and then it'll dry itself because it's an alcohol. It's so volatile, it just evaporates. Oh my gosh, the guy just cut across 2 lanes. Okay, thankfully I was a ways away from him. That was terrible. That was nasty. That was a nasty thing to do. Anyhow, so what I did with my ECU, which I don't know if it'll help you, mine didn't really have corrosion on the inside or any kind of you know, like it looks like battery corrosion type stuff on my ECU. So you need a Torx bit. You need a very small Torx bit. Matter of fact, you need one of the reverse Torx bits. Or is it a Torx bit? I don't know. You either need a reverse Torx bit or a Torx bit. I talk about the Torx bit kit that I got, which is kind of cheap. I got it from China, but it took forever to get here. You might as well just buy one from FCP Euro, and you'll get it in like 1 or 2 days. But I live in New York. FCP Euro is in Connecticut, so I can get stuff fast. I don't know about anybody else. But the open up the ECU, spray it down with the whole can of MAF cleaner. Use the whole can if you want. You know, you know, whatever. But one thing about opening up the ECU, it has a glue on it. So after you take the screws out, you might want to just heat up the edges of it a little bit with a heat gun, maybe. Or you know, you could just use your flathead screwdriver and pry up the sides until it pops out. So until it pops open. So spray down the ECU, let it dry, close it up, put it back in. I thought I had fried my ECU, but it wasn't fried. I thought, no. Why did I think my ECU was bad? Because my gas gauge wasn't working. Well, but there's some other stuff that was going on. I was trying to change the starter, blah, 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 all kind of stuff. So, my gas gauge doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But I think that's due to the corrosion, the ECU just being wet, you know? And where they put it is kind of a crazy spot. But what you can do is when you plug it all back up, just make sure you fill up the contacts with dielectric grease. And you know, if you really want to go crazy, oh my goodness, I hope that didn't have nails in it. You could put some you could put a plastic bag over it. Okay? You could put a plastic bag over it under there, and good luck to you. All right, thanks for listening.